Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Nathan Daley. I'm your law enforcement translator. You guys, I'm here to provide insight on current event topics and especially the most important type of topics with law enforcement. You guys, that's what I specialize in. And listen, lately I've been doing a lot of reviews over some body camera footage and police encounters. So this situation is actually very interesting. It's coming out of Trenton, New Jersey with the Trenton Police Department. Very interesting situation that happened. This, I believe, happened February 12th. Jajuan Henderson is 29 years of age. And this kind of sparked some controversy. And there was no body camera at first. I had to pull some strings to get the body camera footage. But a lot of people had some issues with this because the offender slash victim, Jajuan Henderson, was shot, I believe, several times, and now he is paralyzed from the chest down, is what they said. They said that he was on his way to get something to drink out of his car when he was harassed and stopped by the police. They believe it's a case of racial profiling. And so I decided to dive into it, pull some of the evidence, look at the video, and also watch the news to really get a perspective, to really be able to translate some things to you guys, and then give my opinion. What is my review on this situation? You guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very disappointed. Over the last few body camera footages that I've seen and I've put out on my channel, been extremely disappointed on the performance of the officers. Not only that, but actually how the information was put out by the media, you guys. This is a big problem. You know, the media has a way of actually disseminating information that's not accurate and can create some additional problems. And we see that with the people speaking. Sometimes we see it from the family. Sometimes the people who are actually giving this information does not have the accurate information, and it's no fault to them sometimes because the police departments don't cooperate and they're not transparent, and therefore people are left to put everything together on their own. So listen, let's dive into the news clip first. I'm going to give you my opinion about what's being said and how accurate it is to the actual body camera or the real events that took place, and then I'll play the body camera footage and let you guys decide on your own what you believe, what you think. Was this shooting justified or was it not? Did the officers have legitimate reason to stop, detain, or use deadly force? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the interview by the media, and then I think everything else will flow from there. Now, before I get started, you guys, I have to warn you, the video of the shooting is graphic. So please make sure you fast forward ahead. After that is over, then we'll resume and give my opinion in reference to that. Also, shout out to my subscribers, you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Let me know your thoughts on this particular video. Please share this video and share this content, you guys. Anybody who's interested to getting a real perspective from a law enforcement officer, because we do have some clowns out here talking about these cases. Alright. This is Jajuan Henderson's mother that we see right here, but I'm gonna go ahead and play it. She is met with the NAACP for New Jersey, and then also I want to say another organization.
My son came close to death because the Trenton police shot him multiple times at close range into a car that was parked in front of his daughter's mother's home.
Ladies and gentlemen, this case involves yet another needless police shooting that left a 29-year-old black man paralyzed from the chest down after a far from routine traffic stop.
I agree with that. This was far from routine. I can definitely agree with that. He's absolutely correct. And this does not appear to be a traffic stop from what I've seen. This seems to be a suspicious vehicle stop. This was not a traffic stop. And I'll go ahead and break down why it doesn't appear to be a traffic stop. And then I'll show you and prove it to you on the body camera footage.
Just after midnight on February 12, 2022 in Trenton, New Jersey, Jajuan went to retrieve some iced tea from a car parallel parked outside of a home he was visiting in the middle of the night. Jajuan sat lawfully parked in a car with the engine turned off when an unidentified dark car approached.
No, the lights and the vehicle were turned on. The lights were on. The vehicle was on, I believe. based on what I've seen on the body camera footage. I don't know if he turned the car on when he saw or came in encounter with the police, or if he had just recently parked before the officers got to him. So that cannot be confirmed, and of course I don't see any updated information from law enforcement. So keep that in mind. I just want to be completely transparent on what I observed, and I'll explain to you why I say that when we play the body cam footage.
And parked next to him, boxing him in. A group of men, fully masked and in dark plain clothes, then jumped out of this mysterious vehicle and began yelling at Jajuan. As many others would do in this escalating situation, Jajuan used his cell phone to call for support.
First, the officers were not in plain clothes. That is a term used. If you say plain clothes, that means they're in maybe like a jeans and a t-shirt with maybe just a vest thrown over that says police. No, they were in uniform. They weren't in the standard uniform. These group of men were SWAT officers. So most likely they were what we call like the jump out squad, right? The crime suppression unit. So these are SWAT team members who are in police vehicles that don't have the lights above the hood, not the hood, on top of the roof of the car. They have the blue and red lights inside the grille or inside the windshield of the car. So that's just to be more tactical, so that they're not really immediately recognized as they are driving through communities and things like that. One would argue that these might be undercover police cars that have the lights built into them. So they weren't in plain clothes. They were in SWAT gear. They were in their SWAT uniform, which are paramilitary or BDU style uniform. So they weren't wearing masks. There was one officer that had because it appeared to be cold, he had an actual mask or some sort of a scarf over his face. But the main officers who were speaking to him in the window did not have masks on or did not have their face covered. I say that because that was one of the things that was repeated when I was going through different articles, that they were masked, and Jajuan was unable to identify whether or not they were actually real police. That's not accurate. He knew they were the police. He confirmed that they were the police when they were actually talking to them. So this is important that we go over this because, again, this is information that's being given to the public and it's not accurate.
This group of men, appearing as any other group of dangerous criminals from a horror movie, turned out to be from the Trenton Police Department.
From a horror movie, right? Again, you guys, he's painting the picture. This is why the media is dangerous, right? When he's from the NAACP, by the way. When they get up here and they start trying to paint a narrative of some type of a sinister act that the police are about to do. Now, granted, I don't agree with what the police did, but this right here is not good, right? So I just like to point that out. Listen to the word choices that he uses, and then I'll let you be the judge.
A black man sitting in a car at midnight while on a cell phone was all these unidentified officers needed to smash the driver's side window. Despite being unarmed, non-threatening, and minding his own business, these officers proceeded to use lethal force and shoot Jajuan in the neck. It is a miracle that Jajuan survived, and he will have a long road to recovery, if at all, from the actions of the Trenton Police Department.
This was a young man who simply went out to a car after midnight. He went out to the car, he was stopped by people he didn't know, and he ends up paralyzed from the chest.
That's not accurate. That's absolutely not accurate. He knew who they were. He knew they were the police. They told him he was a police. Even though they may have did use excessive force, even though they acted unprofessionally, again, we still have to be honest and be transparent. Did he know they were the police? Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Down. We've brought a lawsuit. We have not named the names of the police officers because even though it's been over 30 days, we don't know the names of the police officers involved.
Jajuan was only going to the car to retrieve an iced tea.
police have, we can't have police acting in secret. We're supposedly standing up for democracy around the world, but we have some very undemocratic practices going on right here in the United States of America.
Facts. Can we get an amen to that one?
It's terrible what happened. Imagine being paralyzed from the neck down. This is not the first case like that I've been involved with. We've had cases around the state where people are left partially and totally paralyzed, and worst of all, lost their lives.
Look, the NAACP is nonpartisan yet very political. We have no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, just permanent interests. And at the end of the day, we need a package of laws that should be passed in New Jersey. Look, let's be clear. African Americans, Hispanics, historically vote for Democrats. They got the Assembly, they got the Senate. No-knock warrants, chokeholds, qualified immunity, implementation of civilian complaint review boards with subpoena power should be easy. Should be easy, because they depend on us to vote for them and keep them.
Well, regardless of whether you agree with those things he's asking for about in reference to the Democratic makeup and Trenton, New Jersey, which I don't know, but a lot of these cities, predominantly black cities, are all Democrat ran, and he's absolutely correct. Why is it so hard for them to get those things? Those things that he listed is not an issue. If they want no-knock warrants, you get them at a local level. If you want issues with police disciplinary actions, that's not hard to get, you guys. If they want citizen review boards and accountability through the citizen's perspective, that's not hard to get at all. Again, these are the people that are being voted in by the black community, and the black community saying they're having issues with their law enforcement. This should be a walk in the park, especially if the entire a walk in the park, you guys. He's saying it's Democrat ran out there. There's no excuse. I can't argue with that. Why is it not getting done, though, is the real question.
Employed historically. We need to get it done, and we need the governor to sign.
There are bills sitting in the state legislature right now, a whole package of police reform legislation. They need action. They don't need to languish in committee. They need to be passed by the Assembly, passed by the Senate, and signed by the governor. And foremost among them is the police review boards with subpoena power bill that would enable municipalities to establish police review boards with subpoena power. In the United States, more than 1,000 people a year are killed by the police. More people are killed by police in this country than in any other advanced industrial country on the planet Earth.
That is true. That's true. And actually, it's approximately about 1,200 people are killed by law enforcement a year annually. That's a very consistent number across the board. He's right. And our law enforcement kill more people than anybody else in the country. Now, one would have to compare violence. One would have to compare access to guns, right? That's one of the things that we also have more incarcerated people. So, he's right. I think at the end of the day, we have to look at what's going on in this country's culture that is, that creates so much violence, just in general, So very true.
Police need oversight. Citizens need to oversee. The United States has the second largest police force on the planet Earth.
Like I keep saying, planet Earth. It's like, as if there's other planets we can go to. But unlike Jupiter, right? Pluto has a lot easier than, it's like planet Earth. Nah. What he's saying is so true. I agree with that. Listen, there's a lot of power in this profession. And I think citizens have relinquished so much power to the point to where they don't know how to get it back. So, in this profession, we walk around with all this power, untamed power. He's absolutely correct. Why would it be an issue for there to be citizen oversight? Yes, you need checks and balances. You have police who are tasked to enforce law over the citizens. Well, who enforces law over the police when they abuse it? The police do. And there lies the problem. So he's right. Now, can you pull it off? That's the real question.
That indicates a serious need for civilian oversight. We need police review boards. So we're glad to be here to show support for the family. We're glad to see that they have attorneys that are going to speak truth to power. And most of all, we're glad to be here with our partner in the struggle for justice, the NAACP.
Despite the fact that the government is in possession of all the information about this case, the family still has no answers. The community has no answers. We need to get away from this model, okay, of the police running the show. We need to get back to the mission of protecting and serving, and away from this mission of intimidating and terrorizing a community. This community's had enough and they want answers. Here's a mom who wants answers. And what's wrong with that? How long do we have to wait?
Yikes. I think they are 100% right, minus the ones that I talked about. There needs to be some reform. You know, we can all be real, you guys. You know, I think the only problem I see with that setup there, they don't have a law enforcement consultant. You know, you guys, when cities are doing these things, they do need a genuine police officer present to really kind of bring an additional focus on what's going on, what needs to be changed. I don't understand how we start making these laws and rules and there are no police officers present who can provide some legitimate insight. Maybe it's hard to find an officer that can be trusted enough, who's genuine enough to give an honest opinion and perspective on what needs to be changed and adjusted. So I didn't hear too many, you know, again, I agree with a lot of things that they said. I think they are very accurate on their assessment in reference to what needs to be implemented. It's shameful, you guys, at this point. Obviously, people have been crying and screaming about reform. Something as simple as just being transparent. Even when you're wrong, just be transparent. I think it's not too hard to ask, right? Listen, let's dive into the actual shooting, you guys. You heard what they had to say in reference to that. Let's start with the second body camera. What I'm going to do is, all right, you guys. So I'm shrink down. We're going to go into the second. We're going to go into the body camera from this perspective. There's 4 in total that I have. I'm only going to cover 2 because they are the same scene, just from different perspectives. These 2 are the most important. I'm going to show you why they are important. Let's look at this real quick. I do want to show you an image of Jajuan Henderson, of course. This is him in the hospital. That's a picture of him, so that we can kind of just get an understanding of who he is. Mind you, he's 29 years old, and he was, in fact, shot. So we're going to play the body camera now, and I'm going to break this down for you guys. Let me see. Okay. Now, this is what's happening right now. We are taking the viewpoint from the officer in the passenger side of this car. There are 4 officers in total. There's 2 vehicles in total. What we see now is an officer in the passenger seat. What did I recognize right away? He's driving, he has his flashlight, and he's flashing outside the window. That's something that I would do as well. I'm looking to see if people are loitering in buildings. So he's shining the light, and he does see something, and they stop. The reason why I know they did not do a traffic stop, they stopped past the vehicle where Jajuan was sitting in. They drove past him, and they stopped. And then the second car drove behind the first car and stopped. And so then an officer from the second vehicle got out and started running the license plate. The vehicle was parked. It was parallel parked. The lights were on, so I assume the engine was on when he was walking up, and they're asking him questions. Granted, what law did he break? How is this? Is this suspicious activity? How is it, right? It's not said. It's not implied. They never told him why he was being stopped, why he was being detained. Never. Even when he asked, they could never give him any explanation, you guys. This off the back, if this is how it is, the officers are wrong from the beginning. From the jump, they had no legal justification for stopping him. If this is true, again, when he asked, the citizen asked, Jajuan asked, the officers are obligated to tell them. They have to explain why why he's being stopped and what crime did he commit. And that's not what I've heard on any of these body cameras, but nothing. So let's play it, and I'll pause it on the flashlight. Right, they're driving down the street. He then takes his flashlight. He's flashing his light in cars as he's driving, and then you're gonna see him do it again. They're just coasting, and then there you go. He sees a victim, right? He sees someone sitting in the car. Cool. Now, that move he just did, he turned his body camera on, you guys. The body camera records 30 seconds before it's actually activated. That's why you don't hear any sound. It pre-records 30 seconds behind. And so he taps it, he activates it after he saw someone with his light. This is what they did. So what would the officer say? This is suspicious activity. What was suspicious about it? There is nothing suspicious about it. Mind you, right? People say, oh, this is racist, this is that. Well, there is a black person here with them. I believe this guy is African American, right? There goes the second vehicle that's coming up behind them with the lights on. All right. Again, he is in here. They're driving up. Mind you, this is not a traffic stop, you guys. This is absolutely not a traffic stop. This is what we would call a suspicious activity or a suspicious person. But then again, you have to be able to articulate why it's suspicious. He's in his car, minding his business. I would say so. Now here we go.
Put your windows down. Put your windows down. Yo, put your windows down. Put your windows down. Put your windows down. You have your license and registration insurance?
Oh, he asked him for his license and registration. For what? I wasn't driving. Even if, here's the problem. Even if he was driving and he got into the parking spot really quickly and they wanted to pull him over, the problem is, what are you pulling him over for? Right? Again, he's asking for what crime did I commit, and they were unable to tell him. You guys, this is an illegal stop. This is illegal.
Dispatch, 513, 782 and 557 Center Street.
I'm just skipping through a little bit. I want to get to the conversation. Apparently, he's still looking for his ID that they weren't authorized to even ask him for.
What's that?
Open the door. You gotta step out of the car. What? I can't hear you. What's your name, man?
I said I'm not doing it.
We know that.
Just
We
need
know
you to
that.
Step out of the car. That's it.
No, I'm not stepping out the car. I got to call my lawyer and son.
If you don't step out of the car, I'm gonna break the window and get you out of the car. Okay?
Wow. You guys, he wastes no time. If you don't get out the car, I'm going to break the window. Under what authority? Under what authority? He said, listen, I'm going to have to. He said, what? I didn't do anything. They said, yeah, we know. Get out the car, you guys. Tyrants, right? This is completely unacceptable. Again, if there's something I don't know, They sure didn't tell the media anything. This is horrible, you guys. This is horrible. This is what people don't like. Here we go. Right? Here we go.
You got one more warning, okay?
Stop reaching behind the fucking seat. Stop reaching.
Why don't you just open the door, man?
Open the door.
Open the door.
Step out of the car.
Open the door. Open the door. Just open the door,
Open
man.
the door. I'm not gonna tell you again.
Car, man. Y'all calling me for no reason. Y'all stopped me for no reason.
I'm gonna break the window.
What the?
Open the door and step out of the car. I don't care who you are right now. I'm telling you to step out of the car.
Whew. You guys, that's ego. That's what I'm telling you. The biggest problem in law enforcement, outside of the foolishness that some officers get away with, ego. This is all ego. It's all ego. And here we are, right? You have an officer who's enforcing the law through his ego.
Why did y'all stop me for? I'm not speeding. None of that.
Step out of the car.
Again, he asked them, "Why did y'all stop me? What'd you stop me for? I'm not speeding or nothing." That's their time. That's the officer's time, which they should have said from the beginning. We are stopping you because of this. You are in violation of that, and none of that.
I'm not speeding. None of
Step out of the car.
Not having a debate, bro.
Step out of the car, man. You're gonna make this more difficult than it gotta be.
I'm gonna break the window.
that. I don't even go nowhere, nigga. Yo, this not my car.
Then open the
door.
window.
Alright.
Open the door.
Come outside. Look. I'm coming. Don't stop this.
Open the fucking
What do
door.
y'all want?
Open the door.
Alright, stop breaking. Yo, this not my car.
Stop.
All right. I'm gonna get it from the other angle. Oh, did I hit the wrong button? I want to get it from a different angle. This is another body cam footage because after the window's broken, it goes back into the shooting. But this is the driver. Fast forward.
Stop moving.
This is the driver and also the shooter, you guys, from the first vehicle.
Put your windows down.
We get a different perspective.
Yo, put
We
your
see the
windows down.
officer.
Put your windows down. Put your windows down.
As you guys can see, this is the SWAT team logo right here. You see their uniform isn't the traditional police uniform that the officers who patrol. Often this is going to be a specialized unit. Usually the SWAT teams, this is not uncommon that you have SWAT officers that will be a part of a crime suppression like unit, and they'll go throughout a city and they just basically look for stuff. They call it a proactive unit. The unit is necessary. I'm not going to say it's not. It is necessary. It does help with crime reduction. But the problem is it's the mentality and the behavior of the officers. Are they out here abusing people's rights? Are the officers out here breaking the laws themselves?
Open the door. You gotta step out of the car. What? I can't hear you.
I'm not stepping out the car. Y'all got to call my lawyer, sir.
If you don't step out of the car, I'm gonna break the window and get you out of the car, okay?
That's excessive.
You got one more warning, okay?
Stop reaching behind the fucking seat. Stop reaching.
Why don't you just open the door, man?
Open the door and step out of the car.
Open the door. Open the door. Just open the door.
Open the door. I'm not gonna tell you again. I'm gonna break the window. Open the door and step out of the car. I don't care who you are right now. I'm telling.
Why did y'all stop me for? I'm not speeding and none of that.
Step out of the car.
Look, I'm coming. Don't stop this.
Open the fucking
What do
door.
y'all want?
Open the door.
Alright, stop reaching. Yo, this not my car.
Stop reaching, bro.
I'm just not my
Open
car.
the door. I'm not gonna tell you again.
Yo,
Open the door.
this is not my car. What are y'all doing? Stop breaking. Yo, what are
Then
y'all-
open the door.
I'm calling the cops.
We are the cops.
I know,
Okay.
but y'all can't do this.
So he confirms right there that he knows it's the cops, right? He's well aware it's the police. They're asking him to get out the car. They are, whether or not he knows or not, well, I'm sure he knows. Jajuan knows that he's being stopped illegally. As a citizen, yeah, you have a right to resist that. You have a right not to comply. This is true, right? This is very true. But at what cost? Right? At what cost? This is the perfect opportunity for you to start filming your own footage for your own evidence, or calling 911. I think he had the right idea. Call 911 and say, hey, can you bring a supervisor? You know, these officers are harassing me. These officers are they illegally stopped me. I need a supervisor here immediately. Here's my address. You know, put them on speaker. You know, and again, at the same time, you guys, I always tell people, cooperation. It's so much better just to cooperate. Get your evidence in order, record, do whatever you need to do. Have someone else on the phone. Have 911 dispatch on the line, the open line. Let it be recorded so they can record, keep everything. Do the best you can. It's very difficult to resist an officer without getting yourself hurt. That's just the reality of it. That's the reality.
Y'all can't do this.
Open the door. You understand you're under arrest, right? You understand you're under arrest, right?
He said, you're under arrest. He said, what's your probable cause? What's your probable cause? The guy knows, Jajuan knows something. He know a little bit of something. He said, what's your probable cause? You guys, I haven't seen it. The officers haven't even told him. You know, that's not how it works. So now we have 4 officers. Again, this is what people don't like. You have 3 other officers who are watching this illegal activity take place. Unless I say allegedly, right? Because again, we don't know what's going on. But at the same time, the police department hasn't issued out any statement clarifying what the issues were, or what was the purpose of the stop, or him being detained. Like, what are we dealing with here? What laws were broken? Nothing is being said. So he's saying probable cause. What is it?
Obstruction. Open the door.
No, hold on. No, come here, yo. Come here.
Now, he just broke the glass. The officer told him that when he asked for his probable cause, he said, what do you stop me for? What's the arrest for? Why am I under arrest? For obstruction. You guys, for obstruction to work, there has to be a violation of the law. It has to be a violation of the law or an hindrance of an investigation of the suspicious of a crime being committed. Or you can't have obstruction. What are you obstructing? If I didn't do anything wrong, I'm not obstructing anything. And you didn't tell me anything. You never afforded me the opportunity to make I guess, an informed decision whether or not I feel like this is justified. Moral of the story, though, obviously, again, it's a lot easier to cooperate and then hit the police on the back end with complaints and lawsuits than it would be to physically resist or try to fight the officer. It's not worth it. And this is gonna prove why it's not worth it. It's unfortunate.
Oh!
You're under arrest.
What, yo? Don't move.
No, he's trying to start the car. He's trying to start. Back up, back. No, stop! Stop! Keep your hands up!
How you just shot him?
Hands up!
You just hands up and you just
Dispatch,
shot
shots
him.
fired on Center Street. Shots fired.
Jesus Christ.
Get him out of the car. Get him out of the car. Start rendering aid.
I don't, absolutely not justified. And here's the problem with this. Now we have a gentleman who is paralyzed from the chest down. Granted, 2 things, right? The officer is saying that he used the vehicle as a weapon and could have put the officers in danger. You guys, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm going to show you why that's not true. How these officers weren't in danger, and I'm going to show you why. Look at the distance. So here he breaks the glass. He breaks the glass, and then he puts the car. He drives. Okay, he drives forward. There's no officer in danger of the vehicle. He drives back. No officer in danger of the vehicle. Even if I take myself out, let's see. Where is this officer at? This is the officer, the black officer. No one is in danger. Right? And then you fast forward it some more. Then he starts shooting. His partner is completely out of the way of the vehicle. The vehicle is not being used as a weapon. No officer in danger. Even if we look at the other body camera, it shows the exact same thing. This is an unauthorized use of deadly force. And it looks like, from what I've seen and what the evidence I looked at and the evidence that they did not provide or failed to provide, this looks like an unjustified stop. What's the articulable, reasonable suspicion of the stop? You have a man sitting in his car. Okay, you go over there. What's the probable cause? What's your evidence to detain him? You have nothing. And what's the suspicion of a person sitting in the car? It's not suspicious at all. It's not suspicious at all. They had no right. It's a violation of the man's Fourth Amendment rights. They seized him illegally, asked for his identification, no justification. He committed no crime. He committed no traffic violation. Oh, you guys, this is wrong all day. So we call the fruits of a poisonous tree. And on top of that, you have an overzealous officer breaking the window and shooting him. I don't know. This doesn't look good, I'll tell you that. The question is, how do we fix this, right? How do we fix these overzealous officers in this profession? How do we fix it, you guys? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? When I ask these questions, like, do you think it's justified? I know for a fact nobody thinks this is justified at all. Oof. Every time I think about it, you guys, and I watch more of these videos, I'm like, man, I have a lot of work to do. Did I bite off more than I could chew? You guys, this task of trying to bring about some reform ideas and actually get some real reform policy out there, it's only going to be as effective as the people who support it. Meaning, I can only do so much. I can't do it by myself, you guys. I can only provide insight. I can only translate things. I can only give you my genuine perspective on what needs to change. But the power is in the people. The power is not in me. So if you see value in what I'm doing, you guys, please support it. How do you support it? Share the message, share the channel, get more people to join, get more people to subscribe to the channel. Or we are complaining and we're not doing anything about it. I'm stepping out saying I want to do something about it. I can only do as much as the support that I have. Let's be real. So this is very tragic. Jajuan is alive, but then, he's paralyzed. What do you guys think? Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please share this information, you guys. Share my channel. Let's talk about it. I want to know what you think. What reform ideas do you feel like policing is missing? I've talked about a few on this channel. I would love to get your thoughts, you guys. Anyways, thank you for watching, and good night. God bless.